This is a TUNENGE T21 small everyday carry flashlight. And it is compatible with AA cell batteries, so its working voltage goes from 1 volt up to 4 volts or 4.2 volts, and it comes with a 14500 lithium ion battery, which is basically about the same size as a AA battery. So it has a USB-C port where you can plug in and recharge the lithium ion battery, or if you just need to buy some AA batteries, you can plug a AA battery in and it'll work. Now it says it has a 1400 lumen output in the turbo mode, and it has a 4-hour runtime on that. And it goes down to a moolight mode, which is 3 lumens, with a maximum runtime of 168 hours. And then they have like a strobe and SOS modes as well as like a high, medium, low. It claims to be IP66 water and dust resistant. So I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase one, it will cost you about $29. So in the packaging, we have the flashlight itself, and it comes with a headband strap and a charging cable as well as the manual. And so this little guy here goes through your headband strap, and so you can mount this on a headband, and to support that it has this head which turns 90 degrees, so you can hold it in your fist like this, or you can use it like a traditional flashlight. And when you put it on the headband, this thing being mounted sideways to your head like so will allow you to point it forward. Now it does have a magnetic end cap, so you can stick it to things that are magnetic. Comes with this little clip, and then it has here a USB-C charging port, which the included USB-A to C cable will plug into. And then on the other side there's the switch. Now I'm pushing the switch and nothing's happening, so it's possible that this guy is shipped with a piece of plastic to protect the battery from accidentally discharging. So let's take a look at the battery. This end cap is screwing, and it screws off. There's a little piece of protective plastic to keep the battery from discharging. It looks like it has a tab that maybe was supposed to be sticking out, but they didn't screw that in or screw over the tab. And this is the 1000 milliamp hour 14500 AA sized 3.7 volt lithium ion battery. So this is a relatively non-standard size of lithium battery. I don't know how easy it is to find replacements of this, but as I said, it is AA compatible, so you can just put any AA battery in there instead. Now, looking in here, there is a little O-ring right there, so that O-ring will get compressed when we put this guy on and screw it down. So there's a pretty good O-ring for keeping water out of the battery compartment. Okay, this one little button is overloaded for lots of different functions. So first of all, if you have it turned off and you push and hold for 2 seconds, it'll flash 3 times, and that's lockout mode. And so in lockout mode, it'll flash 3 times, but it won't turn on. So if you're putting it in a bag or something, you might put it in lockout mode. To get it out of lockout mode, you push and hold for 2 seconds, and then it turns into whatever mode it was on last. So if you just push the button and tap it, and then tap it again, that'll turn it on or off. If you push and hold, it'll go to the next power mode. If you push and hold again, it'll go to the next power mode. Push and hold again, it'll go to the next power mode. So that was low, medium, high. Push it again, and it goes down to low again. Now, if you want to get to turbo mode, you double click. So you click twice, like that, and now we're in turbo mode. If you click once, it'll turn turbo mode off. If you turn it back on, it'll go into the last mode it was that wasn't turbo mode. So this, I think, is medium. So that might be medium. Yep, let's see. All right, so there's low, there's medium, there's high. If you double click, you get turbo mode. If you just push the button, it'll turn off, and then it goes back to, I think, high mode is what it was on. I'm getting a little flickering there, I'm not sure why. Now, if you triple click, you get the strobe mode, and if you triple click again, you get the SOS mode, where it does 3 short flashes and then 3 long flashes, and then after that it does 3 short flashes again. And then if you push the button, it'll turn those modes off. Now there's one other mode, which is the moonlight mode. And so if the light is off and you push and hold for 1 second, as soon as the light comes on, you release the button. That's moonlight mode, which is like 3 lumens. And when you're in moonlight mode, you could push the button to turn off, push the button, it'll come back in moonlight mode. But if you want to move out of moonlight mode, you push and hold till it gets brighter, and now you're in low mode. But you can't cycle back to moonlight mode. The only way to get back to moonlight mode is turn the light off, push and hold until it turns on at a low level. Now, if you push and hold for too long, you'll accidentally go into lockout mode if it flashes 3 times, and now you're in lockout mode. So you have to push and hold again to get out of the lockout mode. So those are all the modes. The head swivels. There's no like aiming, focusing in out, so this guy doesn't turn to, change the beam size, but you can hold it this way, set it upright, and it'll light up an area, or you can go forward and hold it like a regular flashlight. So those are the functions of this guy. You pull this guy off and plug it into a USB port. It'll make a breathing red light. When that light turns solid, it's done charging. Alright, so just the flashlight with the clip is 2.3 ounces. Or 63 to 64 grams. If you add in the headlight strap, you're up to 89 grams, or 3.1 ounces. So the light on the button is green if the battery is good, and it only really lights up for a while when you first turn it on, so that green light is there, but then after a while the battery indicator light turns off. So if this light is red, it means the battery voltage is between 3 and 3.2 volts, basically time to charge. And if it's flashing red, it's lower than 3 volts, which means, hey, you really need to recharge your battery. So I want to test replacing the provided lithium-ion battery with just a generic AA alkaline battery, just to see if the behavior changes or anything. So I've noticed when you put the battery in, there's a period of time when it doesn't react to user input. And I'm not sure if that's there, it turned on a green light there. So it looks like it might have detected that it's a alkaline battery because this light is green even though the voltage is like 1.5 volts. So it might have a different scale for alkaline batteries. So if you put in a battery that's 1.5 volts, it might just assume instead of being a fully discharged lithium ion, it's a fully charged alkaline battery. Alright, we got to strobe mode. I'm going to try getting to turbo mode. So it's not going to turbo mode with the alkaline battery. It goes to high mode, but it refuses to go into turbo mode with the alkaline battery, which is probably a fair choice. I imagine the lithium-ion batteries can put out a lot more current than an alkaline battery. So it looks like turbo mode is only available if you have a lithium-ion battery installed. Now they do have the moonlight mode. So they provide a USB A to C cable. I want to see if this guy successfully negotiates power delivery charging or not. So yes, it does successfully negotiate USB-C power delivery charging, and it's drawing basically 1 amp here, so it's charging at 5 watts, and the little red light there is subtly brightening and then dimming. It's not very bright at all. It's hard to see the light, but it is changing a little bit. It's turning slightly more and less red as it goes. You can see there the magnetic attachment base is quite strong, so you don't have to worry about that flashlight moving once you attach it to something metal. When it's done charging, the light turns solid green. Right, I put the battery provided with this flashlight into my cell tester here, and we're running a charge test on it. We're going to see what capacity it actually has. It claims 1,000 milliamp hour. Okay, Their battery claims to be a 1000 milliamp hour battery. The battery tester says it has 1060 milliamp hours in it, so it does meet the specifications. Next up are runtime tests to verify their runtimes here. And something doesn't make sense to me, which is their turbo, which is 1400 lumen output, has a runtime listed of 4 hours, but the high, which is 420 lumens, so much less than half power, is at 5 hours. So it seems like, if this guy can go 4 hours at turbo, it should be able to go at least 8 hours at, less than half of that lumen output. So I'm going to test it at turbo, see if it actually gets 4 hours. Then I might test it at high and see if it gets 5 hours or more. Okay. That definitely went out sometime overnight. Alright, I set this thing to high, not turbo. It is 11:03 a.m. and we are going to run the runtime test with the time-lapse camera. Alright, so even after you fully discharge it, if you push the button, you'll get some light for a while. If you try turbo mode, it flashes on and then goes back to a low mode because the battery's pretty much down. This thing on the button is flashing red, so it's saying, hey, you don't have much power left, but it gives you a little bit. Well, now it's flashing double here. So it will give you a little bit more light when you've turned it all the way off. So you're not going to be completely left in the dark right away, but we've pretty much discharged this guy down. Now you can turn it into moonlight mode by pushing and holding, and you get moonlight mode. And I imagine in moonlight mode, even with it discharged like this where it shut itself down, it probably would go for another hour or so in moonlight mode. Alright, this guy's been fully discharged 3 times, so we're going to say that this particular charge up here is going to be a good estimate of its total capacity. Alright, charged up, took 5 watt hours or 1086 milliamp hours at 5 volts. So my only real complaint about it is they really overload that one button to do a lot of things. So you have to remember, all the different possible button commands to get to moonlight mode. But in general, if you push a button on the flashlight, some light will happen. And so, just pushing it will turn something on. And then if you push a little bit longer, it'll start changing modes on you. Now, getting into turbo mode, you've got to know it's a double click. Getting to flash mode, you got to know it's a triple click. But realistically, I don't use flash mode very much, and so if I can't figure out how to get into flash mode, I'm okay with that. So this guy's plenty bright. So that's low, that's medium, that's high, and this is, daytime with lights aren't in here. And then turbo mode is higher, so it puts out plenty of light. So there's one failure mode that I ran into that you should be aware of. If you unscrew this bottom part from the main head just slightly, so I accidentally unscrewed the bottom part from the main head, and there's a little gap right there, and if you put a gap in there, the lithium-ion battery inside no longer makes contact, and you're like, why is this thing not working? And the fix, of course, is to screw that guy in. So now it works fine if that gap is gone. So be careful when you're twisting it one-handed. If you twist this guy one-handed to do that, it's fine. But if you should be grabbing the bottom part while attempting to twist, and you twist that upper part away from this guy, you might disconnect the lithium-ion battery inside or make it so that it can't get in there. So the symptoms of that are that this light will not turn on at all. So if you plug this into a USB port and your green light is flashing, it means it cannot detect a lithium-ion battery in there and can't charge it. So if you run into that, basically make sure that this connection to that part right there is screwed in tightly. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this guy. I have brighter flashlights, but they're a lot bigger than this guy. So for kind of your AA sized everyday carry flashlight, this guy is nice and conveniently Easy to carry. It has the magnetic base so you can attach it to something. You have the headband so you can use it as a headlight. So overall, I recommend this flashlight. It's a nice form factor, has good power for its size, pretty good battery life. I mean, even in turbo mode, this guy would run for 4 hours, and if you're using some of the lower power modes, it'll last a long time.